Hello everybody, I'm Ken Gordon with the Ford Protect SDR Profit Builder Program. Welcome to F&I Weekly, Volume 2. Today we're going to talk about the top 11 mistakes that beginners make as new F&I managers. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to point out what I consider to be some of the biggest mistakes that beginning F&I managers make when learning the position. Now here's a little secret. Veteran F&I managers will also make some of these mistakes. I'm also going to relate these ideas to learning music, as many of the concepts are similar. Most of you know that I'm a wannabe rock star. I play a little guitar, I play a little bass, so relating these learning concepts to music just makes sense. So stick with me and I think you'll see how the two ideas correlate. Also keep in mind that you can apply these principles and ideas to most any learning experience. So if your goal, like mine, is to be strong, effective, and knowledgeable, pay close attention as we go through this. So there are many approaches to learning. I don't have all the answers, but in my years of coaching experience, I've seen a lot of people try different approaches to learning, and I feel like I have a pretty good sense of what works and what doesn't. These, of course, are all my opinions, so take what you want from them and leave the rest. So here we go. Here's my list of common beginner mistakes. Mistake number 1, not making the effort to find the right coach. Sometimes even one lesson with a good coach can put you on the right path and approach to learning. If you can help it, make sure you study with someone who is really into the F&I process and has spent a lot of time studying it. There are a lot of managers who will gladly teach you F&I, but they're not really F&I managers at heart. Even though they share similarities, sales and F&I are not the same instrument. The role and the approach to playing them are quite different. Mistake number 2, just learning products and words. Learning products, word tracks, and process is an important part of developing as an F&I manager. One of the biggest mistakes the new F&I manager makes is only learning products and the words to describe them. Unless your goal is to be a human jukebox, spitting out word tracks, learning the concepts behind the words should be just one of the many parts of your practice routine. The trap here is when students feel that they can physically sing the song they're learning and developing. That's only a fraction of really learning about the process. When you learn a word track, you have to take something away from it beyond the physical ability to speak the words. If you want to develop your creative muscle, you need to glean concepts from the words you learn, such as the use of voice tone, inflection, and body language to deliver an effective word track. Listen, if you don't study and practice your part, you're getting very little out of it. To gain an understanding of what makes the music work, you need to study the building blocks of the song. That is, the words that you use, voice tone and inflection, and body language, as well as the technique you use to deliver them. If you're not studying the foundations of it all, you won't be able to make as much use of and make sense of the word tracks and techniques that you're learning. Mistake number 3, not having fun. The flip side of just learning songs is not having any fun while learning how to play. There are some boring and tedious parts to learning to play, but you should always be working on something that is also pleasurable and satisfying. Most of all, find the right balance of the tedious stuff and the fun stuff so that you're motivated to practice. Don't just do one or the other. Mistake number 4, getting stuck in one style, or using only 1 or 2 closes. One thing I never understand is when people say, I just like metal, or I just like jazz. To me, it seems if you really like any one style of music, you simply just like music. And if you want to be a musician, you'd want to study music and many different styles of music. Now relate this to F&I. Most new F&I managers learn 1 or 2 word tracks for overcoming an objection. You can't use metal or jazz on every customer for every objection. You must diversify your set list. Try some blues or some classic rock. Don't define yourself by one style. You might prefer jazz, but maybe you can apply some useful concepts from reggae to close the next tough customer. Mistake number 5, not learning history. A big part of understanding the F&I office comes from studying its origins. A lot of students get caught up in what's happening now. That's all they want to look at. What's happening now is a result of what happened before, especially as it relates to compliance. Analyzing what was done before can lead you to deeper insights about current trends. Mistake number 6, impatience. Many of the beginning mistakes can be reduced to impatience. There is a lot to learn and it doesn't happen quickly. If you are really into learning, you may discover it's never ending. However long it takes to learn something is how long it takes. You determine the timetable. You don't have to meet certain goals by a certain time. Just keep at it and it will come. Something that I feel is important. You need to learn to enjoy every moment of your F&I development. You will always feel like you could play better and that there's so much to learn. That never goes away. The way you relate to your playing right now is probably the same way you will feel all of your life. So embrace it. Mistake number 7, playing too much, too fast. In the early stages, be careful not to play too much or too fast. Bad habits develop quickly, so practicing slowly and accurately is more important in the early stages. It gives you time to absorb the sounds and pay attention to details, so be patient and pace yourself. Mistake number 8, not listening. One of the hardest things to get beginners to do is listen. You need to listen to what you are saying. I've seen a lot of new F&I managers come in and say they can play the song perfectly. Sure enough, they sing the right lyrics, but the instrument is out of tune. As a result, it doesn't sound like the song at all. Listen to not only what you say, but how you say it. Mistake number 9, not playing with other people soon enough. The students I see develop most quickly are the ones that go out and play with other people. There's nothing like making mistakes and making a fool of yourself to motivate you to practice. You are constantly made aware of the flaws in your playing, and playing with others will help you prioritize your learning. Constantly practicing will help you realize what parts of your presentation need the most work and how to improve your performance. It doesn't need to be a public performance. It could be you and a salesperson or another sales manager in your office. Turn it into a jam session. Musicians teach each other and learn from just getting together with another musician to jam. Role play with your coach. Don't be scared. Mistake number 10, underestimating and overestimating abilities. I've noticed 2 prevalent personality types among new F&I managers. Some are always really down on their playing, the "it's not good enough" syndrome, and others think their playing is great when it's not, the "I'm awesome" syndrome. Neither one of these is good for you. Those who are down about their playing delay themselves or procrastinate. They won't play with people until it's good enough. Don't wait for absolute perfection. It'll never come. Just jump in and do it. Those who think they are awesome miss all the faults in their playing. You can't fix what you don't recognize. This is where a coach pointing it out comes in handy. Not realizing there are things to work on in your playing will greatly stunt your growth. Don't let your ego get in the way of an opportunity to grow. And finally, mistake number 11, not realizing how much work is involved. Learning to play an instrument, or in this case, effectively cover an F&I office, is a lot of work and commitment. No one can do it for you. In that sense, F&I is a great equalizer. It doesn't matter how much equipment you can afford where you live, or which dealership you work in. Every F&I manager has to earn it. Just a few years of solid work can take you a long way. In the scheme of things, a few years is nothing. Okay, to sum it all up, hopefully these 11 items will point some of you in a better direction with your approach to learning. I hate to see people get discouraged, frustrated, or quit just because they didn't go about learning in a good way. Fill your learning approach with variety. Have an open mind, listen, be patient, don't judge your playing too much or too little, practice, and have some fun. So that's going to do it for F&I Weekly Volume 2. So glad you could join me. From all of us here in the SDR, I hope you have a great day. I'm Ken Gordon, and I'll see you next time on F&I Weekly.